Hey, I'm Callie. Thanks so much for watching this video. The teaching that you're about to hear is based on the Bible, and we believe that it will be helpful to you as you seek answers to tough questions about Jesus and about religion. We would love for you to text us if you need someone to talk to, or if you want to have a deeper conversation about the questions that you're having. Again, thanks for watching. We're praying for you, and we hope that this video will be an encouragement to you on your spiritual journey.
Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of Graceland Online. I'm Ryan. I'm just so thankful that you are tuning in today. To kick things off, here's what I want to do. I want you to take a quiz. Ready? Okay, here we go. These are all going to be questions about you. So these should be pretty easy, and they're all yes or no answers. But let's get started. First question, are you tall? Are you tall? For me, I would say yes. I'm the tallest person in my family. Next question, are you fast? Are you fast? Well, I would say no to this one. I don't think that I run fast. All right, here we go. Last question. Are you old? Do you consider yourself old? This is also a no for me. I'm just 38 years old, and I think that is still very young. So, how did you do? How'd you do? I don't know about you, but I got them all right. Or did I? Think about it for a second. What do all of these questions have in common? Well, I know that they were each individual questions, but what else? Why might I have asked these kinds of questions? Each of these questions I asked, they do not have an absolute truth. The answers that you gave, they're all relative. Think about it. I asked if you were tall. If you said yes, that might be right. In fact, you may be tall compared to most humans. But let's say you're 6 foot 6 inches tall. But if you actually compare that to a giraffe, then you wouldn't be tall. My wife, she's 5'1". She would be considered short by most people. However, next to my 6-year-old son, she's pretty tall. You see, it's all relative. Next, I asked if you're fast. Maybe you answered no, just like I did. And that may be true compared to most adults. But you might be fast relative to many other things. You see, people are fast when they're compared to sloths or ants, but people would be slow compared to airplanes or automobiles. You see, it's all relative. Finally, I asked, are you old? Now, if you answered that you are old, that may be true, but compared to most civilizations, you would be young. However, if you answered that you're young, it might be true compared to some adults, but compared to the life of a mayfly, you are really old no matter your age. Now, if you don't know how old a mayfly lives to be, just go ahead and Google it after this episode is over. But you see, all of these answers, they're all relative. Each answer could be true. Each of your answers could be false. Over the past few weeks, we've been looking at a few lies that people tell themselves, or maybe they're told when it comes to faith. And today, the lie that we're going to unpack in this episode is this: I should live my own truth. I should live my own truth. Have you ever heard that before? It seems to be something that's pretty common for people to say these days. But if not, what this means is that some people say that God's okay for you, but I need to live my own truth. And then typically it will be said, you just live your truth and I'll live my truth. However, I'm here to suggest that living your own truth, it's really not possible. If you believe that people should live their own truth, might I just give you a few things to chew on? Maybe just open up a discussion, a dialogue, begin a conversation about this. And to begin that conversation, I want to offer up to you just 2 things to think about. 2 things that would say living your own truth is a lie. First one is this: the truth and being honest are not the same thing. The truth and being honest are not the same thing. So often, people confuse the two. Let me give you an example. My son Roman, when he was 4, he came up to me one day and he said, "Hey Dad, can you jump very high?" Now, in addition to not being fast, I told him, I don't think I can jump very high. Buddy, I can't jump high. And then he looked me straight in the eyes and he said, "Well, that's okay, Dad. But me, I can jump over our house." Now, he was being honest in what he said. He believed that he could jump over over our house, but it was not the truth. He was honest, but it wasn't the truth. You see, if one person can have one truth and another person can have another truth, then it's not the truth. They may just are trying to be honest with themselves. So how can we know the truth? Well, that leads me to my other thought. The second thing I would suggest to you is that the idea of living your own truth is a lie in this. In order for something to be truthful, there must be an external objective standard. Let me say it again. In order for something to be truthful, there must be an external objective standard. Think about it. How do we know that 2 + 2 equals 4? Because there's an external objective standard that we can determine these things. It's not just your opinion. We have a standard for math. How are we able to communicate through language? Because there's an external objective standard to languages, to the English language. How can we keep score in soccer, baseball, or any other sport? Because there's an external objective standard for those games. There are rules. How do I know that my son Roman cannot jump over our house? Because there is an external objective standard that no person can jump that high. No human being can jump that high. If you believe there is no God because you want to live your own truth, then what is the external objective standard by which that truth exists? Maybe you have one. Most likely you don't. If you do not, might I suggest to you what I believe is the truth? I believe that there is one true God that created everything. This same God created people, created us for his glory. However, people chose to rebel against God, and in order to redeem his people to himself, he sent his son Jesus Christ, who was God himself, to live a perfect life. In order to pay the penalty for this rebellion, there needed to be a sacrifice to make things right and just. Therefore, Jesus had to die to make that happen. However, Jesus was later raised to life, and in this, he conquered death. Now, you may say, well, that's your truth. However, I would argue that this is an absolute truth because it is based upon an external objective standard, not my opinion, not my honesty. That standard was created by God himself, and it's called the Bible. Therefore, I do not have my own truth, but rather I live by the truth, one that was created by God, who created all things, who created truth itself. Today, I hope our dialogue has just made you think a little bit. We would love to chat with you about anything that was discussed during this episode. Please leave us a comment or text us at 812-432-2234. We would love to get to know you and point you to the absolute truth in this world. Once again, thanks for tuning in today, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks again for watching this teaching. We hope that God spoke to you today through this video and helped answer any questions that you may have had. And again, feel free to text us if you would like to talk more about what you heard, or if there's a way that we might be able to help you. You can also find more videos and more resources at gracelandchurch.online. And if you feel that you've been blessed by these videos, please consider donating so that we can continue sharing more content to more people. Remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more answers to tough questions. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you'll join us again soon.